Shut up. And welcome everyone to another edition of the FTW podcast. FTW is a weekly WWE and TNA discussion where fans talk the wrestling world and all of its laughable glory. This is episode 219, recorded live on June 17th, 2014 on FTWLive.com. Tonight we're going to recap and react to TNA Slamversary and look forward to WWE Money in the Bank, as well as TNA Destination X.
Sounds good.
With us tonight is Nick. Say hello, Nick.
I should probably stop playing Minecraft now.
Correct. That'd probably be a good move. Scott. Say hello, Scott.
If you've got type 1.5 diabetes.
Oh, dear.
You can send that hate over to Scott Viper on Twitter, by the way.
It's actually a thing, according to Google.
Yeah, go figure.
How about that?
You didn't see that on commercials.
And then with us today, right next to me, if you're watching the YouTube feed,
Which you should.
Yeah, you'll see that there's actually two people here in one room, which is something.
We're not wearing pants.
Yeah.
It's incredibly sexy.
Yeah, we rarely do this in person like this.
I have so much crotch sweat right now. I'm gonna slide right off this chair. And I sound amazing because Garvin has better equipment than me.
Yeah.
Get it? Because we're not wearing pants.
Yeah.
All you people watching the YouTube feed, that shit would have landed.
So yes, Harrison is here, and
Hi, everybody.
we were supposed to have Lee, but
He's bad at America.
yeah, he doesn't get America. The thing about America is that
God.
every like big tourist attraction is
Like a day.
hours away, and so we're in Cleveland.
And we're a day from everything. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's a day to get anywhere.
So he decided yesterday that he was going to go to Niagara Falls this morning. So he left this morning to go to Niagara Falls, and surprise, he's not back yet. So
This isn't like England. This isn't like a little rink-a-dink country. You cross in 6 hours.
so he was surprised. He didn't realize it was going to be that far away.
Which amazes me because he saw how far Detroit was over the weekend. Like, dude.
But yes, Lee has been in town, so we've been doing a bunch of different things. I went to see Raw with him last night, which was awesome. But we'll get more into that a little bit later on.
And I'm up from Florida entirely for Lee. Not because it's my daughter's birthday, but entirely because I wanted to see Lee.
Whatever. My name is Garvin. I'll be moderating tonight's conversation. If you're listening live, we'll be pulling in your comments throughout the night. And if you're on Twitter, we'll also be monitoring the hashtag AskFTW and FTW Live. So get your questions in. We do have room tonight for some more questions, but get them in, and we'll see what we can do.
Why'd you look at me when you said that? I don't have any questions.
Because I'm not used to having someone in the same room as me, so I like to make eye contact with everyone.
Here, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna unbutton my shirt a little bit, make it a little more comfortable.
So for a full archive of episodes, you can check out FTWpodcast.com. We'll have full show notes of what we're going to talk about tonight. And, yeah, you can subscribe. Download everything on demand. If you miss any of the show, you can grab a full copy of it. All right, so
that's fucking awesome.
so today we're going to be talking about Slamversary, plus on the WWE side, obviously Money in the Bank is coming up. But let's talk about TNA first. Let's get this out of the way. And I say that with a negative tone because for the most part, last week, FTW219, if you listened, we were pretty negative about the overall build for Slammiversary. No one was really looking forward to it. So it was kind of a hard conversation to have because normally we try to find positives about things and talk about the stuff that we're enjoying, but really there's not a whole lot in TNA right now that is, generally speaking, everyone is enjoying. So, but let's go over the card, and then we'll talk about our overall feelings. Maybe those feelings have changed for those that watched. So, yeah. First up, X Division Championship. This was booked after we had talked last Tuesday. Sonata defended against Manic, Crazy Steve, Tigre Uno, and the Wolves in a six-man ladder match. He was successful, so he won.
Okay.
Bobby Lashley defeated Samoa Joe. Oh, wait. let's talk about the first match.
You know, there's a webcam right there with a lot more people watching than just me.
I know. So let's talk match by match. X Division Championship. This was announced after we had predicted stuff. Obviously, Muda wasn't there, despite Nick's. He was pretty clear that he thought Muda was going to be there, but he wasn't. So
I did retract that at the end of that discussion.
So Nick, overall, your thoughts on this match? Are you glad that it happened? Do you think the right people were involved? Talk to us.
Well, first of all, I've got to say that I did not get the opportunity to watch Slammiversary in its entirety. I saw bits and pieces, but I saw this opening match, and man, what a way to open a card! That match was awesome. There was that one spot with Crazy Steve in the ladder where he did the airplane spin that was kind of ridiculous, but
yeah, that was a bit cheesy, for sure. So the spot was, just in case no one else watched this, the spot was...
Again, the looking at me.
The spot was he stood in the center of the ring with a ladder and spun, and everyone ran into him.
yeah,
Actually trying to look at me when you guys were talking about that is what was going on. You just happened to be there.
As I will illustrate with my Stella Artois bottle here, when you spin on top of something, a gravitational pull.
Yeah, must have
occurs.
been. It was like a tornado. Crazy Steve was a tornado in the ring with a ladder, and even people outside of the ring decided to slide in just to get smashed in the face with it.
Yeah, at least Sonata, the first guy that got nailed, at least he looked like he was trying to duck between the parts of the ladder so he could get at Steve, but just everybody else just ran right smack into it. And aside from that, though, it was an excellent match. Lots of spots, lots of impressive looking stunts, and I'm pretty sure that could qualify as match of the night.
So I disagree with you, Nick. For me, I thought this was for me, it was slow paced. Sure, it was your spot fest, as you would expect from a 6-man tag match. Everyone got a move in. Everyone got their nice highlight. But for the most part, it just felt kind of slow paced. And then the ending just seemed very anticlimactic. There was no it just didn't seem like they dragged it out. It was just like Sonata climbed the ladder and got it, and that was it. It felt like a 5-minute match.
Well, what were you expecting if it was basically added to the card after? What more were you really expecting out of it?
This is the X Division. I was expecting excitement.
Yeah,
I was expecting to see more from the Wolves, and we didn't really see a whole lot from them outside of diving to the outside, or they had the brief fight between the two of them.
No, that's fair, but look at it this way: the match had 0 build, and it was added after Impact.
Sure.
And really, I don't really know what you're expecting from the Wolves, given that they're the tag champs and nobody really expected them to walk out with a win anyway.
Yeah, sure. But a tease would have been nice. Right?
Yeah, I guess.
It seemed like, the Wolves fought once they got onto the ladder, and then after that it was Sonata climbed it and Sonata was your champion.
I don't want to smack you around anymore, but there are 8 other matches.
I know,
and then another tag
saying,
match on top of that. With
this is the X Division. This is the X Division.
And we're gonna have it.
And you're really hoping,
you're
yes,
right.
it's last minute. But
okay, you're right in that it was short, but we have an X Division pay-per-view.
Sure.
So for this, you can just kind of look at it as like a preview of what you're gonna get, or maybe this was like the X Division's last hurrah for the 4-sided ring.
Okay, I'll agree with you in context. This was probably fine. Okay. But
good job,
compared
Nick.
to what we've seen before, from the X Division, I don't know, it just didn't seem up to par. Basically, this is my beef.
Well, let's just agree to disagree.
It's fine.
Clink, damn it.
Sonata won. So let's move on to the next match. We've got Bobby Lashley. Oh, actually, sorry. Before we do that,
oh my God,
there was another match booked after we had talked, and that match was the main event had changed. So everything we talked about as far as the injury to MVP, that in fact happened. So MVP was injured. He booked the match change, And basically, it was we already had Bobby Lashley versus Samoa Joe, as well as Austin Aries and Kenny King booked. But the change was that those two matches were going to decide who was going to advance to the main event to take on Eric Young in a steel cage match. So, overall, Bobby Lashley versus Samoa Joe was an okay match. I think it was pretty much what we had expected to kind of MMA style brawlers going at it.
I had the Dark Horse candidate with Umaga.
Yeah, so Harrison picked Umaga,
which I will maintain is a solid choice.
It was. I was surprised. That's when I knew this was going to be an exciting pay-per-view. Was when you started throwing out names like Umaga
and Janice.
Yeah. So.
And I have issue with the Austin Aries Kenny King match, but we'll get into that when we get there.
Okay. So. Yeah. So, anyways, Lashley advanced. I thought it was an okay match. Gonna do a quick edit note. Nick, can you write in the chat what matches you watched, so I know what to cue you on?
Yeah.
Okay.
And fourth wall broken.
Yes. Sorry, everyone. Okay.
We should check the chat, see if they exploded yet.
So, yeah. Let's see what this chat's saying.
Okay, well, we don't know which matches you're talking about. Good match with incredibly dull finish. That match board made it. Well, now we don't know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, now we don't know. So, anyways, all right. After Lashley and Samoa Joe, we saw Willow take on Magnus, which was an okay match. I mean, we saw Magnus, like you had said last week, Nick. I mean, it did seem like Magnus had finally took like that crazy side where he was ruthless, aggressive, was totally going the direction that Bram wanted him to go. And we saw a lot more of that against Willow. So overall, it was a good match. Magnus won, which I thought was pretty cool too.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, the idea of a darker, more edgy Magnus is really kind of what we've been talking about for at least a year now. I mean, we always kind of said that he always had something in him that maybe this could be that thing that takes him to the next level.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing he hasn't tried yet. He's always been the oh, I'm British and I'm a heel or whatever. This works a lot better if Lee's here, but point being, he's British and a heel, which is all he really had going for him. So maybe the idea of him being a little more, I don't want to say darker, but
sure. No, it was nice to finally see him have that edge because him as champion, paper champion, as they were painting him. I mean, that was pretty accurate and lame. Yeah, it was.
It's always lame when they do that, but it was especially lame for him.
Yeah.
I do have to wonder what this means for Willow though, because he hasn't gotten a clean win over Magnus.
We kind of already know what's going to happen to Willow.
No, that's not true. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Okay, whatever.
I mean, there's a story that broke that we're going to talk about a little bit later on. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, there was the partnership with Abyss, so I don't think that feud's over yet. I think this week we'll see probably Abyss and Willow partnering up against Bram and Magnus and continue it in some some way, building up to what we know is coming.
Oh, but that's coming not this Thursday. It's coming what? It's definitely going to be coming within the next few weeks. You're talking about building that up for, 3 weeks? It's not going to go all the way to the X Division pay-per-view, is it? A whole month?
It could. We'll see.
Really? Okay.
But we'll get into that.
Oh, that'd be a hell of a debut for the thing that we're going to talk about soon. See, foreshadowing, and now we're forcing you to listen in. This is professional broadcast, whatever the hell this is.
Edit note. Turn your mic so it's like facing. All right, there we go.
I don't like talking directly into a giant black dick, Garvin. I'm sorry.
Oh, you should be used to it by now. Come on, Harris.
I don't bring my work home, Scott.
Oh, that's where you're doing it wrong then, man.
No, I'm doing it right. That's why I can do it professionally. Why are it?
All right, so the next match.
Oh, yeah.
The next match, Austin Aries versus Kenny King, what many were predicting was going to be the match of the night. I think that, for me, was a quality match. I liked it a whole lot. Obviously, most of us were going with Austin Aries, Kenny King. Nick, you predicted, but wrong. Harrison, you also predicted Earl Hebner. Earl Hebner gets pissed mid-match and beats down both of the chair, pins both, and declares himself #1 contender for the X Division title. Now you have
Okay, first off, I have contention. Hey, I have a comment about this. If he ends the match, it's not mid-match. It's the end of the match. He ended the match. He can't end it in the middle.
Well,
yeah.
He's got a point. He's got a point.
This was your prediction. I don't know why you're complaining now that you got your prediction wrong.
You got the grammar wrong. That doesn't make any sense. How do you end something in the middle of something? It's not the middle then. It's the end.
Well, perhaps what the person who typed meant is that it was in mid-match of what was planned.
Yeah.
And they ended it, in the middle of the match, or what should have been the middle of the match, which then became the end after the result was made. So
it's all about perspective.
Yeah, we'll use that word to describe it.
I think you correctly interpreted Harrison's thought process for Harrison.
Yeah, I try.
Thank you.
Someone's got to translate cock. I mean, it's just I'm the expert for this, apparently. Which I don't know if that's an insult to Harrison or me.
You.
Probably me.
I think it's shared.
By the way, I thought that was a very good prediction. I could easily see that.
Earl Hebner getting pissed at the end of the match. I'm sorry, Earl Hebner getting pissed, ending the match, and beats both down. First off, I cannot believe that guy still has a job.
Well, and actually, this prediction was actually very close for another match, but we'll get into it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Austin Aries wins, which means Austin Aries versus Bobby Lashley versus EY. That's your main event. So, a lot to be excited about, I think, as we moved into it. Von Erichs debuted. So they had their debut match, and many on the internet were negative about it. Not necessarily because of what Von Erichs did. Von Erichs worked very well, I think. Most of us will agree. I mean, there was kind of some sloppiness, but this was their debut on national TV, so there's the jitters.
No, go finish your thought. I'm sorry.
Well, but the main complaint, and I think it was JR, Jim Ross, who started this kind of thought process, was, here you have two hometown guys. This is their debut. You are putting them on the card specifically because you are in that town, not because you've signed them to any kind of contract. And you have them win by DQ. You don't give them the clean win.
Okay, yeah, that's a really good point. My thing is, though, I'm willing to bet no matter what, people would not be happy with this match, and that's because of their name. It's the Von Erichs. If it was anybody else, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I think no matter what, they were going into this, basically, the fans were going to be disappointed.
Because?
Because of the name, the Von Erichs.
Why? I don't get it.
Because that
Because
name...
it wouldn't live up to the hype of the name.
Bingo.
Well, but
I know it's kind of esoteric, and it's kind of like, that's kind of a hipster response, but in my opinion, I look at this, I think Von Erichs, holy crap, that's a really huge name in wrestling. That's right up there with the Hearts.
Sure.
Well, I don't know. To be fair, if you're going to talk about Von Erichs, they're alive.
Yeah.
So, if they're going to live up to the name, they wouldn't live at all. Sorry. But at least they wrestled the match.
No. End thread. We're done. I'm pulling the ripcord. I'm done.
No,
Whatever. I'm with JR.
I get the argument. I get the argument that no one is.
Mine, not Scott.
Yes,
right?
yours.
Okay, good.
That no one is going to be happy, and that's for a couple different reasons. One, because those who weren't going to be happy probably weren't going to look at it in context of what it was anyways. This was their debut. They're both green. They're both rookies. So, of course, there's going to be some issues. But on the flip side, most of the people that are probably going to complain anyways aren't.
But JR has a valid point. If you're gonna go the extra mile having these guys debut at home, let them win. Why do the DQ?
Well,
or at the very least,
won.
let them lose. DQ though. But at the very least, if you're gonna do that, lose. Don't do a DQ. Do a clean win. Pull a WWE and have them lose.
No.
The point being, I can see where JR is coming from with this one. It's kind of a.
It's a lame finish. It's a lame finish.
It's not a lame finish. It's a missed opportunity. Because where do you go from here? You have what, an eventual rematch? I mean, big deal. I mean,
I think it was good for what it was. Just so, I mean, I can see why TNA wouldn't want to be like the WWE and have the hometown heroes lose in front of their hometown crowd. And it was a good excuse. The way they ended it, it was a good excuse to bring Kevin Von Erich in with that Iron Claw spite, which people exploded for.
Did it?
So I think it accomplished everything it was supposed to accomplish, really.
Yeah.
And as an aside, let me say just how shocked I am that JR is insulting everybody and saying that nobody's gonna be happy because they're all internet hipsters.
Well, no. Well, Harrison's saying that.
I said that.
Yeah. JR's comment, paraphrasing it, was basically, have the hometown boys debut and lose. I must not understand this business anymore. Was like his comment.
But it's for me it's but it's lose by DQ. I mean it's the
win.
DQ.
Well, they won. They won by DQ.
Win
but still,
by DQ. It's not a clean win. That's my thing. And my argument is, the Von Erich, knowing the Von Erich's name, that is very much a wrestling hipster test. I mean, that's.
But they're still active in Texas. I mean, it is for us. It is for us, but not for where they were.
Yeah. Okay. Good point.
Well, anyways, I thought it was a good match, so I was enjoying it. Despite the weird finish, I did like seeing the claw.
Like I said, it was good for what it was.
Yeah.
There's your bar, TNA. It was good for what it was.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Knockouts Championship. Angelina Love successfully defended the title against Gail Kim, and for me, I'm okay with the result because that's what I picked anyways. I mean that was the obvious result. It's just that how they came up with that finish, I didn't like. It's just so. For me, it just bothered me because of they once again had the whole they rehashed the ref getting involved with a worker, a female worker, so he got himself distracted from Velvet Sky or by Velvet Sky basically. I don't know. It's just junk. It's
it really is
more junk that we don't need. Especially with the knockouts.
However, it is not dumping kitty litter on somebody else.
That's true.
Let's.
However, this is your title race versus your race that's on main event. Your feud that's on main event.
That is true. Yeah. I will say though, no contest. Was there a time during that match when you guys were like, oh shit, Harrison might actually get one right on this one?
It was close. It was close.
That would have been epic.
Bully Ray lost to EC3. I was the only one to successfully predict that.
Because you were so hardcore for Team Beard. That's the only reason you picked it. Look me in the eye, because you can do that now. I'm not on a webcam. Look me in the eye and tell me you picked EC3 because you thought he would get the decent push from Bully Ray, not because he has a beard. I'm over here.
EC3 does not have a beard. So
not EY, EC3.
Oh,
EC3.
damn it!
Who's this guy? Another Harrison.
Sorry.
Another vintage Harrison moment.
I see you follow the product like I do. Good job.
So yeah, EC3 did the whole, he went after a legend basically. That was the basic gist, and to me it made sense for EC3 to go over. However, I adored the tease that Bully Ray was going to put Dixie through the table. I thought that was an awesome scenario, but obviously it didn't happen.
Okay.
So.
Speaking of JR's blog, I loved how when he was discussing that moment, he related that to Mae Young.
Mm-hmm.
I love the correlation of we're going to put Mae Young's name next to Dixie Carter's name.
Yeah.
There's quite the age gap in between the two, but
and the whole scenario.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, because that's the only other thing that we can remember, right?
Mae Young.
Well, Bully Ray put Mae Young through a table via a powerbomb.
Yeah.
I can't remember any other scenario like that.
He put at least one other woman through a table. Was it Sonny?
I thought it was when Victoria was a hoe for the Godfather. Who
Different
oh, who
times,
was
man. Different times.
I remember him saying, I'm pretty sure he said Sonny when he was on the podcast with Chris Jericho.
But Sonny threw a table? I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either.
Possible. I don't know, but the scene that everyone remembers for the most part is
Mae Young.
Mae Young. So
Yeah.
see the correlation. You know, it is a female being put through a table by Bully Ray, but yeah, no, it's not a.
What more do you
It's
want?
not a good.
It's not a good you want them to be dressed the same? I mean, I think it's a valid comparison.
But now EC3, as being pointed out in the live chat, is the hardcore American icon. So he's legit now, I think.
I like it.
It's hot.
I'm into it. I do have to say, Harrison, I am kind of sad that Vladimir Kozlov did not enter in the match and win.
Oh, I have a complaint on who should have been in late, but we'll get into that later. Yeah, deal with it when we get to the main event.
Storm versus Anderson versus Kennedy. Storm versus Anderson was up next, and Anderson won. No one picked that except for Scott, so congratulations, Scott.
Yay.
I think overall this was probably it was a good match up until the end. This was another case where TNA can't end a match without some kind of shenanigans. So we had the same thing. So we basically had this with Willow and Magnus. We had this with the Von Erichs. We had this with Angelina Love and Gail Kim. We had this with EC3 and Bully Ray. Then we had this with Storm and Anderson, where the Cowboys, they had some cowboy rookies or something like that in the audience that got involved in the match.
So realistically, for majority of the matches at Slammiversary,
shenanigans.
A funny finish.
I don't think I count Bully Ray and EC3 with that, just because of the kind of match it was.
Because it was within the rules, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make that one a wash. It's still a majority.
It is. Still a majority. And I think that's one of the issues I have with TNA's booking is that when they want to do a screwy finish, they do a screwy finish with as many matches as possible. I don't get it. I don't get why we need that all the time.
Wait. Storm and Anderson's 1. Knockouts title is 2. Von Erichs is 3. Willow Magnus is 4. There are 9 matches on this card. Not a majority.
Von Erichs.
1, 2, 3, 4. You don't count Bully Ray and EC3 because it's a wash, so that's 8.
Correct.
And even no, there was a 5th one.
No. You miscalculated.
Okay. I have had.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe not a majority, but still more than needed. Can we agree with that? We didn't need all those finishes. I mean, the thing is, with pay-per-view, you expect the pay-per-view to end some feuds every once in a while, right? It's like that's not what we got today. You know, with Slammiversary, it seemed to extend most of these feuds.
Well, I mean, the nature of Slammiversary, like with the whole Hall of Fame induction, where they announce the induction and have the actual induction at Bound for Glory, that seems to have been the pattern with TNA, where Slammiversary sets the stage and Bound for Glory is where it all goes down.
However, well, no, not always.
Not always, but that seems to be a theme.
Go to the 4 pay-per-views a year. Was that starting last year?
Last year.
Okay, so yeah, that would have been a precedent. So you're right. Okay, well, still, I thought it was a good match up until the whole Cowboys getting involved. That I thought was annoying. But I thought Storm did very well as far as pushing the heel side. Anderson, I thought worked pretty well overall. So I don't know. There were some positives with basically every match so far, outside of some of the annoyances that we've already talked about. But let's talk about the Hall of Fame induction real quick. Hall of Fame, it has been announced that Team 3D will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So let's talk about this real quick. Are you surprised? Because I don't think this is, a name that we've really talked about. I mean, we've talked about Bully Ray in years past, but I don't think we've ever really talked about Team 3D being inducted. However, considering everyone that's gone now.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So, Nick, what's your thoughts on Team 3D getting this induction?
Yeah, it did come kind of out of left field for me. I hadn't really thought about Devon since he was gone, and everything made it look like he was like really gone, not like the whole when he came back as Sarge for the Aces and Eights.
Yeah.
And I watched a video of Devon giving a few of his thoughts after that announcement was made, and he said basically the same thing. Like, not only was he done with TNA, he was essentially done with the business. And overall, I think this is a really good move because while it didn't occur to me beforehand, it makes a ton of sense. Because I think both those guys spent more time in TNA than they did with WWE or ECW. And
you sure about W?
I'm not completely sure. I know for a fact they've been with TNA longer than WWE, but I'm not entirely sure about ECW.
Okay, because I thought they were been for a while.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about the Hall of Fame, though, I mean, we've had 2 inductions from TNA, and they've always been with active talent, or at least active to the point that they're kind of coasting to the end. I mean, we had Kurt Angle and Sting, and Devon's been out for a while. So for me, this was, when we were talking about it, like you're saying, kind of out of left field, it makes sense because Devon's been gone for, a while now, and then all of a sudden, we've been talking about how great Bully Ray's been doing, and he's been consistently with the company since, even after Devon left. So it makes sense for us to think, Bully Ray would be more likely to be inducted without Devon. But my thing is, though, as far as this goes, Devon and Bully Ray did really great stuff. Okay, I would argue that Devon and Bully Ray in TNA did better stuff as singles competitors than they ever did as Team 3D.
I don't know. They blew the doors off with matches against Beer Money and Motor City Machine Guns.
But until they split up and they became singles wrestlers, that's when people were really surprised at how talented these guys were. I mean, Bully Ray basically had a whole new career off of that entire. I mean, it was like he came into his prime again when he became a singles wrestler. And Devon did really good work. I mean, admittedly, he was stuck in the Aces and Eights storyline, but he did okay during that. And by himself, he got fit, he looked great, and he looked pretty much as good as he's ever been as a singles wrestler. And these are 2 guys who have been known for years as a tag team.
Sure. Realistically, though, I could see Bully Ray going in by himself, but I think they have more prestige as Team 3D. I think it's better for them, TNA, the Hall of Fame, like all of that. I think it's better they go in as a team. Because this is another pretty big name that I'm pretty sure they haven't been in the WWE Hall of Fame.
No,
No, they're definitely not in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so TNA made another grab that the WWE can't claim as they put them in first.
Well,
I mean, there's that to consider too.
They can still technically induct the Dudley Boys, not
sure,
Team
but TNA kind of beat them to the punch.
Yeah, I don't think that's really good. I'm looking forward to the time when that does happen, when WWE does induct somebody that TNA had first, because really it's going to be Kurt Angle probably. It's going to be like one of those things where does anybody care? Does WWE care, or is WWE looking at it going, all right, fine, it's TNA's Hall of Fame, we're just not going to put you in ours?
It's interesting. But I mean, you look at the names though. I mean, especially with Team 3D. I mean, that's a TNA name essentially. So I mean, you look at with the Dudley Boys, that prestige goes with both WWE and ECW. And if you're going to induct them based on their ECW accomplishments, that's got to be with WWE. So it really kind of depends on what gimmick you're putting into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and I guess for me it's you're throwing out Kurt Angle would be the first, but the first is obviously Sting.
Okay.
If we keep believing the rumors that get put out every other day,
which we don't because they're insane. And then the only other argument you have is, well, he wrestled in WCW and WWE bought WCW, so therefore it's like, no, really the one claim that they have, legitimate claim, if you don't want to go into rumors and superstition, or supposition I should say, is that It's Kurt Angle. He's the one name the TNA have right now that WWE can really say, oh, yeah, we're going to put him in the Hall of Fame. And no one's going to go, oh, you kind of worked your way around to get him in there. It's like, no, he had a very prominent career in WWE.
Real quick, just some dates out there.
Because that's what you tuned in for, dates.
Yeah, the Dudley Boys were in ECW for 3 years. They were in WWE and WWF for 6 years, and then they were in TNA since 2005. So almost,
9 years.
yeah,
9 years.
9 years.
Wow.
I mean, it's like 9 years for Bully, and then Devon missed half a year, or maybe it's a year now. I can't
Might be a
recall.
year.
Can't recall. So,
Still longer than both the other runs combined.
So
I know.
That
That's
was an
really
accurate
weird.
statement. That was an accurate statement.
Man, that's weird to think about. Lou in the chat, 2015 Hall of Fame inductee will be Scott Steiner. Mark his words.
All right. So, yeah, I think it was a good move. I think they did a lot. We were talking about how, Bully could go in as a singles competitor, and how, it wasn't until their singles reign did we finally see what they could really do. And I'm kind of with you on that, Harrison.
Yeah.
I think that's when I really started to like Bully Ray, is when he was a singles guy. But you can't discount what they did as tag team champions.
Oh, no, come on. You cannot do a tag team table match without drawing comparisons to them. No, you can't count them out as a tag team.
I know, I'm just saying.
My point is, whatever. Look, regardless, it's still win-win no matter who wants to make the argument here, because they were in TNA longer than ECW and WWE combined, which is just mind-blowing. I thought for sure they were in at least ECW longer than WWE, but that's not even the case there.
Yeah, that's what I thought
3
too,
years?
but whatever. All right, so, and that leads us to Slammiversary's main event, EY versus Austin Aries versus Bobby Lashley. This was my match of the night. I thought this match was basically perfect. Aries and EY, I want to see more of those. Lashley, whatever. But EY versus Aries was fantastic. And I think that really, to me, when we heard this announcement that they were going to basically make it a triple threat match, I thought that was awesome. I thought, okay, cool. Now we have a main event that works, that everyone can get excited for. The idea that Samoa Joe versus Aries versus EY could happen, that's pretty slick.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what we got, but we still got Aries versus EY. So, anyways, EY won. He's still your champion. Thoughts on that, Nick?
That's basically what I predicted beforehand, and I'm very glad it happened that way. Especially, well, I'd have been happy with him going over in either event, whether MVP managed to actually do this match or what we actually got with Aries and Lashley opposing. Now, I don't have anything against Aries as champion, but I really want to see EY hold this belt a while. And obviously, Lashley has no business holding gold right now, at least not top gold.
Okay, I have a theory about this. I legitimately think MVP was supposed to win. And because he got injured, they kept the belt on EY. I know you want, Nick, I understand where you're coming from. I legitimately believe MVP was supposed to win the belt at Slammiversary. And because he got injured, they kept it on EY.
That would not surprise me. So do you think that they'll put the match off and have it at Bound for Glory?
Well, that's the thing. Until he comes back, I don't know. I mean, it's like my thing is, I think right now MVP is the one that should be holding the belt.
Yeah.
And so going into Bound for Glory, here's the problem. If you want to put MVP back into that and have him get the belt, you can't do it at Bound for Glory, because he's going to start the tournament and he's not going to be ready for it.
True.
So what's going to have to happen is they're just going to have to either scrap that entire storyline, or they're going to have to look at it and go, we got to postpone this for what? 6 months? I mean, Bound for Glory is going to be another 3 months. He can't be in the tournament. Then whoever gets the belt at the tournament, I mean, unless you have EY retain against whoever it is, and then basically you just threw away a Bound for Glory tournament. I mean, for me, like the thing is, this becomes supremely interesting to me when you think about it in terms of EY was supposed to drop the belt, because now TNA, this is like the worst possible time for this to happen, because MVP was supposed to have it going into the Bound for Glory tournament. If EY still has it and they decide, okay, we still got to continue this feud, they got to basically throw away the Bound for Glory, the entire tournament, because EY has to retain. I mean, I know it's kind of like, second shooter on the grassy knoll kind of theory.
There's loopholes, though. I mean, there's always loopholes, and the other thing. I mean, because look at the whole AJ thing. AJ wasn't supposed to get a title shot for a full year, and he still got.
But yeah, he had to. Yeah, TNA painted themselves into a corner.
Yeah, there's always loopholes, and the other thing that we're not considering, and I agree with you. I agree that MVP probably was going to walk out with the title if he could have competed.
Yeah.
I think that's the direction they were going to go, and plus most of these guys are on one-year contracts anyways, so you got to see what you can get with MVP.
Yep.
But moving forward right now, the thing that we're not considering, and I know it was talked about at Slammiversary, but never in full detail, was the option C. Sonata has that ability to turn in the title.
Yeah, okay, but the Destination X event that's coming up, isn't that title on the line? Or
probably.
No? So then he could drop it to somebody else, and then they could cash it in. So.
No.
Right? Couldn't they?
Oh, it was Destination X, wasn't it, Nick?
I'm sorry.
Oh, really, Nick? We run a professional podcast here.
I kind of got lost in there.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. We got a big blank wall here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start writing a chart. All right.
All right.
Where we are right now. Well, no, where we are right now is basically Garvin and I are discussing the idea of. Okay, so we got the Destination X event coming up. Whoever holds the title can cash that in to get a title shot.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. See, I misspoke. I thought it was Slammiversary that got option C, no, it was Destination X.
It's Destination X. So then it obviously can't be Sonata. So if they got to get the belt off EY.
Wait. Why can't it be Sonata?
Oh, really?
Sonata versus EY? That would probably be a good match.
Sonata wins the belt from EY?
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So then why burn an X Division belt that way?
Well, there's got to be a point where a cash-in like that fails. Like, we had to have that with Money in the Bank over in WWE.
Yeah.
We got to have that happen at some point.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. With Money in the Bank, I mean, it was Cena that did it. So, I mean, big deal. But, I mean, really, Sonata? I mean, is that the guy who you want to throw, basically, jump on that grenade?
I mean, he's got to leave at some point. He's not a contracted TNA talent. He's Wrestle 1 talent. So, if they kind of use it up on somebody that doesn't hurt a TNA talent long term like that, I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to kind of blow that on Wrestle 1.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Thanks, Nick.
Okay, well, anyways, that's option 2 is to have Sonata, and so, but I do agree that MVP is going to get involved, but he already threw himself into it via storyline. Yeah, it would discredit the Bound for Glory series, sort of, but the Bound for Glory series ended at Bound for Glory.
Yeah. So my argument is, if you want to get MVP because you only got a year with him, right? Because assuming he only has theoretically he only has a 1-year contract, you only have a year with him. So the Bound for Glory series is going to be at least 2 months that you could get it. You can get him occupied in that. Because the tournament starts when? It starts in like a few weeks, doesn't it? They start announcing matches? Yeah, they should be announcing matches within the next 3 weeks or so for like the first round.
Yeah.
So he's just not going to be healthy, or he's not going to be ready. So how do you do that? Well, you either have him come in at the end of the Bound for Glory series and take on whoever won the belt, but then you basically burn the entire tournament because of it.
Well, I don't know. We'll have
I'm up
weeks.
In your head,
we'll have weeks to talk about this, but let's move on.
I'll stop hitting
Slammiversary, I think we went in mostly with low expectations. I thought it met those expectations at least. At least.
All right, that's an awesome endorsement, is what that is.
I thought there were some positives that you could take out of what was there, but obviously I was mostly upset with how it seemed like every match. Obviously Nick proved us wrong, but it seemed like every match ended in shenanigans. I didn't like that. But the main event was awesome. If you're gonna rewatch any of Slammiversary, do that match. That was good. So let's talk about pay-per-view picks. This week, And
I
let me,
tied for Kevin. It is never good
yeah,
when you
so-
tie for Kevin.
So this week, Kevin didn't pick anything. Harrison picked pretty much every match. They both got 0 correct. Nick, you got 3 correct.
Yes, I got screwed on the qualifier matches. I should have called the other way.
Agreed. If only Muda was there. Also,
I don't think we should call. I don't think we should count that one.
Hey, it's on the card. You picked
it's
it.
there, man.
That was not official.
Nick,
Not official. This is bullshit, man.
I copy and paste the doc as soon as we're done into the new doc, and that's what was there. So.
Nick, according to the doc, I officially picked Gobbledygooker, so shut up.
We got the perfect main event, I think, for Slammiversary, but a second choice would have been EY versus the Gobbledygooker,
Which would have been awesome.
in the turkey suit match. I
Yes.
think I still think it's
Yes.
sweet.
Yes, I would be a diehard TNA fan overnight based on that match alone.
Joe got 5 picks right. I tied with Scott. You guys got 5. I got 7. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? I'm starting to pick correct matches. I don't know how I'm doing it. So pay-per-view totals for the year so far. Harrison's at the bottom with 7, followed by Kevin with 13. Scott, you've got 20. Joe has 21. Nick has 24, and I've got 26. King Booker has come to this area now, Nick. I've got that
I think
title.
we need a neutral doc writer to keep track of this.
All right, so we've spent quite a bit of time on TNA. We've got so much stuff to talk about, so let's just go through as quickly as possible.
Oh,
What's
we
left?
can't skip over a couple of these things.
No, we're gonna have to talk about all of this because this is some good stuff.
We already talked about bottom one.
Yeah.
Well, except for that.
All right, so there's a few things. First of all, Destination X is next week.
Yeah.
So nothing has been booked, but there's the Ultimate X match is most likely going to take place. The other thing to take note of, and what is going to make this event so important, is our next point, which is, I don't know if you guys remember about 2 weeks ago we had talked about the idea that, the event really, that TNA went to their Facebook fans and their Twitter fans and they're like, hey, what do you want? Do you want the 4-sided ring or the 6-sided ring? And obviously the fans wanted the 6-sided ring as far as the poll goes, how that all works. So TNA apparently is not letting that fall under the rug and are going back to they're taking this poll now to their site. Maybe this is the official poll to determine what fans really want. We can't see results. I already put my vote in. But basically you can decide what TNA is going to start moving forward with, what ring they're going to use moving forward, starting at the NYC tapings, which, for all intents and purposes, is going to start with Destination X. That's going to be the Thursday that's down there. So, 4-sided ring, 6-sided ring. Obviously, they're going to go with 6-sided ring, right?
Yeah, seems likely.
That's what I voted for.
So, with that in mind, let's rehash this conversation real briefly.
God.
Is this the right move? Should TNA go back to the 6-sided ring?
All right, I'm just gonna say my piece. If I the problem I have with this argument is that the people who are, I'm sorry, not all people, but some people who are pro those people, yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Those people who are vouching for the 6-sided ring acts like that is the only thing that's wrong with TNA and will save the company. No.
I don't think anyone honestly believes that a 6-sided ring is going to save the company, and if they do believe that, they should stop watching wrestling right now. Just stop.
My argument is I really don't think. I mean, TNA has its rough spots. I don't think there's really anything that TNA needs to save. I think they're on a pretty good trajectory. My problem though with the 6-sided ring, like we said before, is that I think it's a barrier to entry for TNA. And when you're the underdog company and you don't have WWE's checkbook or WWE's prestige or TV time or anything that an up-and-coming professional wrestler would like, or even WWE's developmental school down in Florida, having a barrier to entry of not only are you going to have to sign with us and not WWE, you have to learn how to operate now in a 6-sided ring. I don't think that's the best thing for TNA to do. Granted, I'm not a professional wrestler. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if it's something like, well, it throws everything off. But I will say, you can kind of tell with the six-sided ring, with some of the new people that came over from WWE and some of the rookies that came up, their timing was off on a lot of their stuff. And they looked awkward.
Nick, jump in on this.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I do agree. The six-sided ring is not going to be the answer to all their problems. I do think obviously there'll be a spike in popularity, at least initially, when they bring the six-sided ring back, because there's going to be the wave of nostalgia. It might draw back viewers that haven't watched in a while, just because of that. But overall, I agree with you. It's not a long-term salve for the problems that TNA has going on right now. Unless they have the people that can work in that ring, then it's not going to be any different. And Scott, just as an aside about the people that think that this will solve all their problems, clearly you don't spend enough time in our G Plus community, because there's a lot of those people there.
Yeah, I try not to hang out with losers. Sorry.
Oh, don't join G Plus.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I mean, yeah, it's definitely something that will kind of put them in the right direction, but it's not going to be the end-all, be-all saving grace of TNA. The thing is that wrestlers have had to adapt to other various environments before. I mean, back in the hardcore days, I'm sure that there was no training on how to beat each other with pool sticks on top of a freaking pool table. They have to adapt, and that comes with the territory when it comes to wrestling. And I think that primarily the reason why TNA fans want the six-sided ring so badly is because of the way it exited out. You had a lot of old school WWE guys that were coming over at the time, like you had the Nasty Boys, you had Hulk Hogan, you had just all sorts of old school names. And don't get me wrong, that's great for trying to get the product up, but the way that Hulk Hogan just easily just said, you know, we don't need that trash here. We're going to go to a four-sided ring because this is what real wrestling is about. It kind of left a sour taste in a lot of mouths, and I know it left a sour taste in mine. So this at least gives it the opportunity to bring it back and have TNA show if it really is going to be the saving grace of the company. Let the fans truly decide. Bring it back, show it off, see if it works. If it doesn't work, you at least tried and you let it die gracefully rather than have a legend basically go, this is shit, I'd rather just get rid of it.
Right. So as far as my argument has always been, at least when this poll came out originally 2-3 weeks ago, whenever that was, it was, you know, if your fans are the ones saying, hey, you need to bring this back, there's no reason you don't listen to them. It might be a mistake, but when TNA is struggling to get fans and they are losing fans because the product hasn't really been that good as of late, you know, this could hook them back in. This could give their current fan base a reason to, you know, get involved.
And to be fair, that is an excellent idea. But TNA could also improve their viewership by saying, for every show that you tune in, we're going to send you $5 in the mail.
Yeah.
Not a very good idea business-wise.
I'm going to disagree with you on that. I think this is a good business idea. You know, yeah, you're correct. There is going to be that roadblock for new guys, just like there was when TNA first started. But that is something that TNA fans fell in love with, and taking advantage of a nostalgia moment is fine. WWE does that shit all the time, and it brings ratings in. So why not bring it in for a couple of weeks, see how the ratings do. If it continues to do well, then continue to use it. If it fails, if it bombs, then look at what else could be causing the problem, because there are many other things, or get rid of it. Like
that's fair. And Scott's right. They can always just take it out to pasture and put it out. Like it should have been done. And my argument is entirely assumptive. Like, I don't know if that's the case with the other thing. And then finally, did you fart? I swear to God. Okay.
That was the dog in the background.
I bet. It smells terrible.
Okay. No, I did not. So anyways, outside of that, some other new stuff coming, or new people, really. We've got quite a few new names. I'm sorry, quite a few names about returns coming in. That was worded poorly. I'm sorry. Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy is coming back to TNA. Maybe that's a one-time thing. Maybe it's just
Double
for
stuff Hardy.
who knows? He's not officially on a roster. It looks like it might just be a one-time thing for the NYC tapings. That could be Destination X. We were alluding to this when we were talking about the pay-per-view about what does this mean for Willow? Does this mean they're going to write Willow off and bring back Jeff Hardy? And realistically, if you look at the press release, I mean, it basically says the Hardy Boys are going to come back. You know?
And Destination X is an amazing opportunity to do that. Why not? And why not give us, and really, with the fact that Team 3D is going in the Hall of Fame, obviously, if Devon really had no idea about it, what about Team 3D versus the Hardy Boys at Destination X? I mean, that'd be an amazing match.
Yeah, and that is a legit possibility because another new name or another name to add to the list of returns. You know, we did see Devon on TV at Slammiversary. He is now actually on the roster again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's on the
website.
active roster, not the alumni roster. He is on the active roster, so we could see Devon in one more match or multiple matches or whatnot. So that could totally make sense. So, but before we get into talking about either of those guys, there's also Taryn Terrell returns this week on Impact, which should be fantastic. And there's also some gossip.
No, don't even read it. Stop it.
Okay.
Stop
well,
it.
we'll talk about.
This is the Cena heel turn of TNA.
We'll talk about the names that we do know, and that is Devon, Taryn Terrell, and Matt Hardy. Out of those three names, guys, what excites you the most? Which name excites you the most?
As a wrestling fan or a TNA fan?
As a TNA fan.
Taryn Terrell. Because she's the only one that's probably going to be around longer than Matt Hardy and Come on, let's be honest. Matt Hardy and Devon got maybe 8 months.
Okay. Nick?
Yeah, I think I gotta agree with that. It's definitely the knockouts division that'll benefit the most out of any of these
That too.
returns, acquisitions, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, I don't think it'll be long at all before Taryn actually managed. I think Taryn will be the one to take the title off of Angelina Love, actually, and it'd be well deserved, really.
It would be epic.
Yeah. With that said, I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing Matt Hardy come back because I don't really watch Ring of Honor, so I haven't seen what he's doing there. But I have seen recent pictures of him, and he's not double stuff anymore.
Yeah, he looks.
He's down to single stuff.
Happy birthday, Joe.
So he's single stuff Hardy now.
He's regular Oreo.
Yeah, so I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what he can do now that he's back in shape and ready to.
He's gonna show up in black tights and blow our minds. He's gonna like black tights. He'll have like a white suit with like black arms and black legs, so he looks like an Oreo, and we're just all gonna flip the hell out.
Oh
dear.
We're gonna be like, oh my god, he's into the show.
Scott.
As long as he does that version 1 shit again, where he's just like, I'll just slam the tornado. Anyway, sorry. You know what? I don't know if I have a viable, educated opinion on this one. I'm gonna go with Matt Hardy, just because it is a recognizable name. We could joke all day long, but you know, in the wrestling business, Matt Hardy is a name that people recognize, and TNA can definitely benefit from having names that are recognizable. And he's so far from WWE now that it can only help, if not disintegrate.
Okay, you said recognize 3 times. I was wondering if we were gonna get the 5. Okay.
Recognize.
6.
I wanted to go past 5 just to mess with your mind.
I'm personally I'm looking forward to Taryn Terrell. I thought it was really depressing that she left. She left for good reasons. Obviously, she was pregnant. She had a kid. Congratulations. But
that's right. Yeah.
But it was like right in the middle of something awesome. Like when we started really falling in love with the Knockouts division again. Her match with Gail Kim. Epic. So,
and then she ruined it by getting pregnant. She was doing something awesome, and then she had to have a kid.
So
yeah.
How
so that,
selfish of her,
I know,
Garvin, to
I know.
not consider your feelings, since you are obviously a part of her relationship.
it should be. It would have went differently if I was. Anyways,
Yeah, you'd use a damn condom. That's what you do differently.
so yeah, it's good. It's good to
Stop
have her come
looking
back.
at me like that now.
But I will say, I'm interested to have Matt Hardy back in TNA so that we can unban him for a few weeks before we ban him again from the show.
Okay, I'm just nervous because you're between me and all the exits to this room.
Anyways, so that's.
Hold on.
No,
There's one more name.
no, we're not doing Karma.
No, not that. Tommy Dreamer.
Okay, yeah, okay, hang on, yeah. But that never had. She just called him out on Twitter.
No,
right?
he's going to show up.
He is
this
going to
week,
show up.
this
Okay,
week.
all right.
So yeah, there is like this back and forth story between TNA
Sam and
and
Diane.
House of Hardcore, which is Tommy Dreamer's little indie fed.
God, I just made a reference only I get.
So yeah, I think it's interesting, but I don't think it's gonna be long term.
Nah.
Well, if you believe the dirt sheets, apparently he's been working as an agent for TNA for quite some time. And given the way he handled the whole House of Hardcore deal, it sounds like a work. So I don't know. Maybe there's more truth to that than we initially believed.
Oh, it's probably totally at work, or else
Oh,
why would he
yeah.
appear on TNA programming? My point is, I don't see any longevity to it. I mean, maybe you're right, but even still, like Nick, even if you are right and he is scouting talent for TNA, which he could be. I mean, TNA doesn't have a developmental league right now or a developmental fed right now, so Tommy Dreamer can do that. He's still, if that is the case, that just reinforces the fact that Tommy's not going to be on TV for very long. He'll probably pop on every now and then. You're still going to have to run that fed. You can't do that from New York.
Well, but it's not like House of Hardcore is weekly or anything like that. I think they do like every other month or something like that.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
thought they had house shows.
Yeah, I don't think there's a weekly schedule to that.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean that's a name as well, I guess. Not excited about it, but I do enjoy the cross promotion. I think that's kind of cool, and TNA is at a level that they can do stuff like that, which is cool. So before we jump into some WWE, I just want to throw out the other name, which is Karma
swear to
Awesome
God, I
Kong.
will
She might be
break
coming back.
this
She might be
and
coming back.
stab
Oh
you.
God.
You son of a bitch.
That there is some.
It's not gonna happen. She just said karma will come to those who do. It's a phrase. It's not like she. Okay.
They did put karma in quotes on the website. Just throwing that out there.
Nick, if Dixie looks at the camera and says karma will come to those who deserve it, and then
No. It wasn't a video. Like, this was just a print statement. Like, they put karma in quotes on the website.
oh my God, it's in quotes.
It's in
Oh my
writing,
God, you guys,
so
it's in
real.
quotes.
It's gonna happen.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, it's in quotes.
So yeah, you can read between the lines. That may or may not.
No, you don't have to. It's in quotes. It's right there.
That's true. Okay.
It's not in between any lines. It's on the line.
All right, let's move on to some WWE talk. Obviously, we are building up to Money in the Bank, which we're going to be previewing on Tuesday, June 24th, 2014. I forget what show that. Oh, that's next week.
No.
No? Yes, it is. No,
it isn't. It's 2
No.
weeks.
June 24th. That's next week.
Oh.
FTW220. We are going to be previewing Money in the Bank.
Oh, I thought it was 2 weeks. Okay,
Nope.
cool. I'll be here for that.
Awesome.
Whee!
So, so a lot of stuff has been happening. Obviously, last night's Raw, they really started finishing up what the main Money in the Bank match is going to be, and I say main Money in the Bank matches because there's a lot of talk about a second Money in the Bank, not just from us speculating, but obviously I think it was mentioned in the pre-show, which I did not watch. I just got the tweet while I was at the arena.
You were getting drunk.
No, I was in the arena.
$8 beers.
Well, it's the Q. We don't call it the. What do they call it? What is it called now?
Well, I was going to call it
the gun.
Gundurina.
Gundurina, yeah, that's what
I
we
couldn't
call
think
it.
of what it was really called now.
The Q, right? Is what it's really supposed
yeah,
to be called?
yeah, yeah.
It's the gun. Same with Jacobs Field. It's not, what is it, the Pro? Oh, God. Anyway.
So there was some talk in the pre-show about a second Money in the Bank match, but we didn't see that on Raw. But I have heard spoilers. Main event talks about it as well. I'm not sure what it means.
Yeah, really, what are you going to use it for, though?
Contract, some sort.
The actual
Yeah, the
Money in the
briefcase.
Bank. Yeah.
Yeah, like the actual Money in the Bank contract. They can use a title shot at any time.
Okay, so the other one would be
The title.
for the title.
For the titles, yeah.
The contract for the title.
Yeah. We watched the same Raw, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
What I'm saying, though, is that doesn't strike you as a little odd?
No.
No. It doesn't strike... Dude, do you even watch?
You have a title match, and then you have the contract for the title, like Money in the Bank is supposed to be.
So then which one becomes the main event?
The title.
What, for the titles?
Yeah.
So not the Money in the Bank match.
Well, it is going to be in a money. Well, okay.
See?
Well, because technically the match for the titles is a Money in the Bank styled
There
match.
it is.
Yeah, yeah.
See? Now this shit becomes complicated, doesn't it? You guys are like, well, no, it's simple. And then
You're
all,
making this shit
It's
way
not
more confusing than it
complicated.
needs to be.
You're making it complicated, is what the thing is, and I think you should have another beer.
I'm
is
making
what
it more
boils down to.
complicated. One name to describe two different things.
It's
Wait,
no,
WWE
no, no, no.
Hell in a Cell and Hell in the Cell.
Yeah, see? Right there. See, Nick back
One is
in
a pay-per-view, the other is the type of match. Yeah.
Yeah, see?
I
Nick,
don't see it being that confusing. I look at it as it is a Money in the Bank match. It doesn't necessarily have to have a briefcase up at top. It's just
Okay.
the Money
It
in
just-
the Bank typically is
hanging up with the ladder and everything like you would do for Money in the Bank.
exactly. It's like a battle royal with a ladder,
You
essentially.
know what they should do, just to make it a whole lot simpler, is just make it a lot simpler, is have a briefcase with the titles inside them. Because then you open it
But
up.
that would be confusing because then you have a briefcase with titles and a briefcase
Oh,
with a contract.
so
What is
then-
this? Feast?
Or they could rip off Feast or Fire and have multiple cases so you don't know you're pulling on
Yeah.
the title belts or the contract.
There we go. I like that idea. Play a little, what is it? Deal or no deal.
I was-
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. I'm willing to bet it's the case that's heavier.
They will take
Sure
that
they
one
could put-
bricks. You don't know. They
Yeah,
need
I'm
a
sure they
case
could
of
put some
bricks.
weights.
That's what they need.
Just
WWE writers, get on it.
just bricks come out. Just, oh, damn it.
Bum, 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 bum. Wow.
See, they got to take after Price is Right. That's where the game is.
All right, so we'll talk about the rest of the Money in the Bank card in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Right now, let's we pulled some Ask FTW questions up here into the WWE conversation because it was timely and relevant and worth doing. So, Madman with a box or WA box on Twitter asked if they decided to keep Stardust, which we saw
Yes.
on Raw.
Which was awesome.
If they decided to keep Stardust, do you think Cody could keep the gimmick and make it his own and be successful? So let's start with Nick.
Personally, I'd love it if they would do that. I don't think it's all that likely, though. I'm still not sure if they're really going toward the Cody versus Goldust angle. I don't know if this is going to be used to promote the idea that Cody's not the problem, it's Goldust, or they actually will stick together as a viable tag team like this. Again, personally, I hope they stick together as a tag team with these gimmicks because it is amazing. But yeah, I don't know how they're going to go with this.
Scott?
I really don't know how they could build Goldust versus Cody Rhodes right now. I mean, it would have to have like a catastrophic failure at Monday Night Raw next week. The way that the whole thing kind of played out for me was that, you know, you had Stardust come in, they looked impressive. The gimmick is cool, man. I mean, it's probably the craziest thing I've actually seen Cody Rhodes do so far, and this is including the face mask of death. But I mean, I think that this is pushing it towards keeping them viable in the tag team division. I can't imagine them doing singles at the moment. And if they do end up breaking off Cody Rhodes and being in a singles competition aspect as Stardust, I can't see him main eventing. Not with that gimmick.
No. But my thing is, I like the idea, but I like the idea as a feud, as if Cody is making fun of his brother, as if he's like parodying Goldust and coming up with Stardust and like getting in his head, because Goldust's entire gimmick is to get into his opponent's head. So how do you get in Goldust's head? Well, you just do his gimmick back at him. Either way, Cody's doing great with it, but no, there's no way he's going to get in the main event. You don't get into the main event by aping somebody else, and you don't also get any kind of push out of it. I think it was a one-time thing. I don't think they're really going to take it very far. They might, I mean, well, maybe not one-time thing. It might be around for maybe a couple weeks, but I don't think they're going to go very far with it.
Now, you could main event as El Hijo del Midnight Rider.
Yeah, you could. Good job, Nick. Yes, you could. You could do that.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely, he couldn't go on a singles run like this, and
No.
I don't think he would want to, and I don't think any of the fans would buy into it. But the combination Goldust Stardust, I think works. Yeah, it's funny and cheesy right now, but I think he could make that his own gimmick and be successful as a tag team.
Maybe. I mean, Cody, he's had some really weird gimmicks that he's managed to sell pretty well. I mean, like what Scott mentioned, the
Mask, yeah, the protective mask for his
uh,
face.
when he walked around with the mirror, what else did he have? The paper bag. I mean, he's done some really strange things, but he's managed to make it kind of work for him. So I mean, if Stardust dies, it's probably not going to be because of him. I don't think. I can't see him screwing it up. Is what I'm saying.
Unless Nick, like you said, this is leading up to that Goldust versus Cody Rhodes match where
Yeah.
it most likely is, but as Cody is the better of the two, and he's just making fun of him.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
I'm with Nick on that one. And really, it's. I mean, it's what we all want.
Yeah,
Cody
it was
versus
funny.
Goldust.
I
it was great.
enjoyed it. I thought that was cool. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what they do. Leonard Taylor on Facebook asked, "At what point do you stop giving Rusev the quote-unquote Ryback treatment? Because it may just be me, but it seems like the fans are starting to lose interest. The only reason he gets any reaction is because of all the USA bashing, like Jack Swagger, who is now dull. His first feud is going to make or break him, and honestly, I don't think WWE knows what to do with them." Harrison, what do you got to say about that?
Thank you. Did you watch Raw? Did you watch that battle royal? The crowd went nuts when it was him. I mean, okay, yeah, you could make that argument that they're losing interest, except the fact they're not losing interest. Okay. I think the thing with him versus Ryback is the problem with Ryback is that Ryback was really one-dimensional, like really one-dimensional. Rusev isn't. He's got a little bit of movement to him. He's a little more agile. He's got some more ring work that he can put behind it. And we haven't really seen him cut, any really decent promos. We haven't seen him really cut any promos, to be honest. At least any prominent ones. Rusev is selling the hell out of this gimmick. And I'm sorry, but the crowd went nuts when he was standing outside the ring and then I really don't get it. How could you say the crowd is losing interest when they just blew up when he was standing?
Just real quick, I want to jump in here. I mean, so I was at Raw in Cleveland, and I will say the crowd was completely into it. You might not have seen it on TV.
Oh, you did.
But you did, because I rewatched it back. But yeah, I mean, Rusev was getting over. Sure, it might be because of Lana is his talking piece. It might be because they're bashing USA, but that's the gimmick. You want the gimmick to get over, so I don't understand
Yeah.
like why people don't see that. And yeah, the crowd was totally into the Battle Royal when it was just those two guys. I thought it was extremely tense where we were sitting because you didn't know what was going to happen. Were they going to push Rusev or were they going to push Roman Reigns? You didn't know at that point. So obviously we got Roman Reigns, but people are into Rusev. So just want to throw out the live reaction. It was there. Scott?
anyone actually thought that Roman Reigns wasn't going to win that, you're crazy.
Yeah, I'm with
I
Scott.
just the way they built him up to be a participant for that match, there's no way they were going to have him lose that match. He was in it from the moment that Vicky Guerrero got puked on. I'm sorry.
You don't cut 3 segments and then have the guy lose.
No, there's just no way. But I do understand what you're saying, though. I mean, it was a very well performed match with the Battle Royal when it came down to those two. They did a very good job on kind of teetering it back and forth. I don't think anyone's losing interest. I really just don't. I don't see that personally. The only thing that I have a gripe with is I really wish he didn't spoke English on Raw. You know, they have him kind of doing this whole persona where he is above America. Why would he speak our tongue when he's got Lana to do that? So I really wish he never spoke English. Let that lure kind of stay as it is. Let Lana be the mouthpiece and keep him as the Russian super athlete and just don't let him speak English.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm with the rest of y'all. Rusev is nowhere near in the same boat as Ryback. For one thing, they're not even facing the same type of opponents. Rusev hasn't faced one nameless jobber yet. He's faced name jobbers, but that's totally different from what Ryback was doing for like half a year before he all of a sudden got rocketed up to the main event.
Yeah.
He would fight like 3 jobbers in one match, too. Nameless jobbers.
Yeah. Rusev is getting heat. He's getting heat with the America bashing. He's getting heat through what Lana's doing for him. But he's getting heat in the ring during matches too.
Yeah.
And the crowd will pop for a move of his, like that jumping sidekick. That gets a pop just about every time. I mean, he damn near kicked Heath Slater's head off.
Yeah.
That looked impressive as hell. I can't think of a single super kick, not even HBK's, that looked as lethal as that sidekick. So to say that he's falling into the same pit that Ryback is, those two aren't even comparable. There's nothing near the same sort of situation.
And at the same time, people aren't making, I mean, well, I guess by a degree of separation, they're making comparisons to Goldberg. But the problem that Ryback had was a Goldberg effect. I mean, that kind of damaged him out of the gates. Rusev doesn't have that problem.
Mm-hmm. The one part of this statement that I will agree with is a lot depends on his first feud. Like, his first real feud, not just whoever happens to be waving the flag at that particular moment. And it's funny that he brings up Jack Swagger because I think that's where it's going. I think that's going to be his first, like, actual feud. Like, Swagger makes a turn to be face, or at least approaching that, given his relative position with Rusev. And honestly, I think a feud between those two guys would work out pretty well.
Okay, well, Nick, good point. Diva Joe put in the chat, I want to see Rusev turn Swagger face, but also mentions Zeb. Now, could you have a face Zeb Coulter? Would that play?
It depends on if he targets all of his anti-American, or not anti-American, but anti-foreign rhetoric towards Rusev and only Rusev. If he just kind of solely targets Rusev because of how heated he is, then it would make sense, and I can see Zeb kind of being a face in that case. You really can't even have Jack without Zeb at this point. Zeb is really the one that pushes Jack, so you almost have to have it that way.
Exactly. I think Zeb could tone down the anti-foreigner stuff and just turn that to pro-USA, like your stereotypical flag-waving redneck. I think if he played that role against Rusev and Lana, I think you could have a face, or at least a face-ish, Zeb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's already got the backing. I mean, there is a good portion of the crowd that is already chanting "We the People." That's not going to stop. So I think, yeah, you can easily turn them, and it would be fine. And they've already teased it on Twitter. So I mean, this does seem like the direction they're going to go. My thoughts on this, there is this fear that, and Leonard, you say it in your last statement, I don't think WWE knows what to do with them, and I think that there's too many of us who watch wrestling that that's like the final say. We don't just like people because we like them. We start to like them, and then we're like, well, what's WWE going to do with them? Let's not get behind people. And I think that's That's a major issue. Who cares what WWE is going to end up doing with them? As long as you back them, they're going to do well. I mean, we could say an argument with that with Dolph, but Dolph, one of Dolph's major issues is he gets injured. So
all that in his mouth.
Well, I don't know.
Well, okay, those two things, together don't help him.
Sure.
Yeah.
But if the crowd can back a guy and give that guy the heat that he is earning or trying to earn, he'll get over. I mean, the reason why Ryback failed was not because WWE didn't know what to do with him. I mean, that was part of it for sure. No. They booked him incorrectly, but it was us fans that wouldn't allow Ryback to get over. It was either calling him Ryan Reeves or was calling him Goldberg. It was us. It was our fault that Ryback didn't survive.
See, but, okay, I got to take issue with that one because at the same time, what happened when Bray Wyatt debuted? Nothing but Husky Harris chants. They still got past that. And now he is probably one of the biggest fan favorite. I mean, now he goes out there and he sings his few bars. And my daughter starts dancing, which is awesome.
Bray Wyatt did overcome. Yeah, he did change our opinion of him. Ryback did not. But what I'm saying, though, is that it starts with us. If we don't allow a guy to get over, he's never going to get over.
See, I think the thing is when Bray came out, I think it's hand in hand. I think it's half us, it's half WWE, or it's half whoever's booking it. WWE, TNA, I mean Ring of Honor if you want to be like that. But I think the problem is with Ryback, he looked like Goldberg, he wrestled like Goldberg. I mean, he had the power hungry wrestling. I mean, the style like Goldberg. So the fans turned on him, and so there was no gimmick to overcome. Yeah. When Bray Wyatt debuted, he was not Husky Harris.
Well, but also there's one difference between those two characters if we want to compare the two, and that was Bray Wyatt really made his name in NXT as Bray Wyatt with the Wyatt family. So he already had a following that he was able to carry through to WWE. So
the Knicks of the world, if you want to believe.
So while Ryback didn't have that.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but still, I think we let that fear, get to us way early.
Take a cue from Yoda. Chill.
Just relax, see how things go. Sorry, Leonard, but he's not dull. Rusev is awesome. We can throw Deuce loosely in here as well. Shut up, guys, and just let this happen.
Well, no, don't
and enjoy
shut
it.
up.
No, Deuce attacks everything from the get-go.
Everybody, shut up if you don't have the same opinion as Garvin. Shut up.
That works, man.
No, it's a look. Leonard brought up a really good point. It is his first feud that is going to make or break him. I mean, we do have to agree with that. I think Leonard's a little off base. I mean, he may have that opinion that. Anyway,
well, that's not necessarily true, though.
I'm trying to defend somebody who isn't in the room.
Who was Bray Wyatt's first feud? Am I wrong, or was it Daniel Bryan? Wasn't that his first major feud?
First major feud?
Televised mate?
In WWE? Yeah, I think so.
Wasn't it Daniel Bryan?
I want to say yeah.
I think so.
And everyone hated on that. Yet again,
Who hated on that?
Because Daniel Bryan's involvement. Everyone hated Daniel Bryan's involvement.
Oh, because it was Daniel Bryan?
So they crapped on the story, yeah.
Oh, no, I think people hated on him for the Daniel Bryan thing and because of the CM Punk thing.
Okay, well, anyways. Just regardless.
Don't look at me like that.
Hey, all right. So, other WWE news. So, lots of releases. I think 10 overall. We had one guy who was dropped from creative, kind of under the radar. I don't think it was announced on the site. Just kind of word of mouth right now, which is Jay Gibson. He was the head writer, as far as I'm aware. He was dropped. JTG, Jinder Mahal, Drew McIntyre, Evan Bourne, Brodus Clay, Yoshitatsu, Kurt Hawkins, Oksana, Camacho, a referee that I can't remember, and Teddy Long were all released. So, any of these names surprise you?
Before we get into that, Bray Wyatt's first feud was with Kane. Like, legitimate feud, apparently.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good call.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Because the one with Daniel Bryan, he'd been in
but
for a while.
But a feud goes back and forth, and wasn't their main match, didn't that write off Kane? So there was no continuation of it?
No.
It was a really weird ending, too. I remember that whole storyline just ended very strangely. Like, they had him on the steps kind of kneeling before Bray. It was so weird.
And that was it.
Yeah, it was like
And
a
that was
month
it,
and a
yeah.
half before this went on.
It's a legitimate feud. I mean, a month and a half isn't long. I mean, if you want to say long term, okay, let's just not get bogged down into detail.
Yeah,
just-
let's go back.
I just want to say the first two feuds of Bray Wyatt didn't make or break Bray Wyatt.
Oh, so you're just gonna move the goalpost?
Yeah.
Okay. What? As long as we're okay with what he's doing. I mean, I'm fine with it.
Out of these names that were released, I'm not going to read them again. Who surprised you?
For me, the fact that you couldn't find out the name of the referee.
Mark Harris.
There we
Harris,
go. Thank you, Nick.
There we go.
Really, Teddy Long.
Really?
I'm gonna miss my SmackDown tag team matches.
It's been gone for a
Wait
while.
a minute, player.
No mo holla holla.
Hello.
Match. But I'm a singles wrestler. Damn it, tag team match. Daddy, I just want to eat my cereal. Yeah, I'm gonna miss Teddy Long. Legitimately though, I mean, because out of all those people that were on there, he was actually doing stuff recently.
Teddy Long was
What?
gone off
Look at the
TV.
rest of this list.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Camacho.
3MB?
He's been on NXT.
No. You cannot legitimately throw the three-man band at me.
Listen,
and say
Jinder
that that's a
Mahal.
legitimate thing.
Shut up. Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre both they kicked off 2 pay-per-views in a row. The last 2 pay-per-views.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Brodus Clay did have a NXT feud with Adrian Neville.
Okay, now
So I mean that was recent too. That was within a month. And then the rest of them, yeah, sure.
Kurt Hawkins, Oksana, Camacho. I mean,
Well, Oksana and Camacho have also been recent TV appearances.
Well, even Kurt Hawkins wrestled on NXT recently too.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, they're all relatively recent, but yeah, I mean, the 3MB one does legitimately shock me though, because I mean, they had a crowd reaction. They were getting over. I mean, it maybe not to the extent that we would, as the IWC would like them to get over, but I mean, there was definitely a crowd reaction there. So I was actually really shocked that they just kind of broke that up.
I am kind of surprised that they released Evan Bourne after all this time, because from what rumors have been circulating, he was supposed to be coming back like any time. Like he had finally recovered from his injury.
yeah, the
So-
problem with Evan Bourne though is the injuries, and didn't he test positive for
Right.
like twice?
He had that synthetic marijuana deal like right before he had his catastrophic leg injury.
Right. So I mean, you're talking about a guy who, I mean, really, for me, Evan Bourne, it sucks. The guy was great talent, but even when he wasn't, he was just like, I mean, I was the one who kept saying he was just WWE's little brother. He was like, okay. I mean, he was like the guy that you gave the crappy Xbox controller to, not the good one.
But he still got over. I mean, the crowd did like Evan Bourne.
Well, yeah.
As far as all of these guys, the guy that was over was Evan Bourne. If he would have came back, there would have been a major pop for it.
For a little bit, but the problem with Evan Bourne,
Maybe.
yeah, I'm with
Maybe.
Initially,
Scott-
not maybe consistently, but
He has been
I
so
think it would've been
off
consistent.
television for so long. I can't see them popping. They would have to put him through NXT first to get him back into the name recognition before they can even, bring him back into Raw. If they did.
are you
Well,
telling me
well-
that if I played Evan Bourne's music right now, you go, oh yeah, I'm
No.
excited for that. No one would know what that was going on.
All right, one way you could bring him back by circumventing NXT, bring back Air Boom.
Okay. Now here's the problem with. Okay. The problem I have with Evan Bourne is that he has like the glass ceiling effect. The guy might hold Intercontinental Gold, and that's it. He's not going to be a main eventer. He's not going to be someone to carry a pay-per-view. He's not even going to carry a decent feud. He's a gimmick. He's a sideshow. He's flippy.
Oh, I totally agree with you on that, but you can also use him to build up your low and mid card though too. But like I said earlier though, I mean, just he was off TV for so long. I don't think WWE wanted to invest the time to bring him back in and get him back into the circulation of TV time. And I think that was really the problem, and they just ended up nipping it in the butt.
That does seem like a really shitty thing to do, though. He's out for like a year and a half, recovering, training to come back, and then once he's healthy, you let him go.
It's not completely shitty when he lost so much TV time because of his own violations, though.
Sure, and it would have been even shittier if they released him while he was still injured, but, I mean, it's just, that's just gotta suck. Like, all right, I'm ready.
It's a bad deal. It is a bad deal no matter how you slice it. I completely agree with you. But a lot of it was self-inflicted too, though.
Yeah, and I think what made Evan Bourne surprising, like that released, was because like maybe 2 days before he tweeted out celebrating its 6-year anniversary with the company or something like that.
Ouch.
Yeah, so
Well, at least
that's crazy.
in his defense, though, at least he didn't have a website devoted to how long
Yeah.
he's been employed.
Right. So with that's my name. My name is JTG. I was most surprised with JTG. You know, when the first wave came through, then the second wave, then the third wave, I'm like,
All right,
all
he survived
right,
another year.
I don't know how he did it. But the thing was, he just didn't check his phone that day.
He's been hiding out all this time, and I think they finally found his hiding spot when John Cena put Bray Wyatt into that road case. Clearly, that's where he's been hiding out.
He's still here.
It was because he became a rosebud. That's what happened.
All right, everybody. Now, just moment of truth. When you saw that JTG was released, how many of you went to that website immediately afterwards? When you found out?
We took the site down. It crashed. It was down 500. Yeah.
You know, we shit on the IWC so often. We get that. Sometimes I love us so much.
I did not check the website, but I did realize that Triple H and Brock Lesnar are still feuding. Because Brock Lesnar broke the Undertaker's streak, so to compete, Triple H ended JTG's employment streak.
So that means we get a streak versus streak match at WrestleMania 31. Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So yeah,
I'm looking forward to that because Triple H is going to have to remind a vast majority of the fan base who JTG is. Big deal that he ended the streak.
Oh yeah, well, I ended JTG's streak.
And then you'll actually hear the record scratch and the crickets and the thing, and he's going to have to go, hang on.
Remember that guy, right?
Stick with me. This is going to be a while.
Brooklyn.
I'm going to explain this to you why this is a big deal.
Wow.
And then, yeah, Jay Gibson's gone. But, yeah, I mean, for me, yeah. So
there are rumblings that more are going to be released. That's been happening. I mean, there's been a lot of rumors since this happened. This first release happened that the next day people were expecting releases, and we still really haven't seen anything. But there is now talk. If you want to read into the talk, that some of the higher ups are going to be gone. This is all in a reaction to the stock flop and.
Okay, hang on a
stuff
second.
they're trying to,
Now, hang on a second. Now,
appeal
okay,
to
yeah.
stockholders.
Okay. Now, hang on a second. They always release people every year.
No,
they do.
They don't.
They do. Okay,
we keep saying that, as what we do, podcasters or whatever. So we keep saying, like, after every WrestleMania they're going to release a bunch of people, and they haven't done that in 2 years.
Okay, except for the past 2 years.
No. Oh,
What?
right. Yeah, except for right. Generally, that has been a routine.
Except for the points that say I'm wrong. I'm right.
I love how you were about to argue your own point, Garvin. Good job. Good job. Professional podcasting right here at FTW.
Reverse psychology shit happening right here.
Yeah, son. The point is, some of these releases, you got to be honest, not surprising given the fact that WWE is doing this. I don't think it's directly tied to the app. I don't think some of these are directly tied to the stock thing. Now, however, if the rumors are that it's going to be a lot of people from the front office, yeah, okay, I will give that. The thing is though with the stock thing, it's not really all about the app. It's also about the fact that they, I don't want to say lied to the shareholders, but
you mean network, not app.
I'm sorry, yeah, the network.
Right.
I don't want to say that they lied to the shareholders, but what's the word that they're using? It's
Misled.
Misled. Thank you. Yeah, they misled the shareholders.
They treated their stockholders like wrestling fans.
Yes. That's a good way of putting it.
They kayfabed them.
They kayfabed them. There it is. Nick brings it home. They kayfabed their stockholders. So I think most of this is going to be coming down to them. So I think if any cuts are going to be from the front office, my point is I think what they're doing is they're just kind of lumping it all into one painful Band-Aid ripping off scenario as opposed to just metering this out. And they're like, all right, look, let's just look, we're going to get rid of these people anyway. Let's just do it all at once. Let's just clean house and let's make the shareholders happy by saying, okay, look at this. We've freed up a bunch of salary cap room or whatever, and we got rid of all these assholes who told us that we were going to kayfabe you, and now they're gone. So please buy more of our stock. I mean,
I got a friend who, and I'm not going to say his name because I'm probably going to get him in trouble. I got a friend who is a private contracted video editor, I guess is the best way to put it, that works with WWE and does their local promotions here in Chicago. I know that a lot of WWE private contractors were actually forced to sign a contract for much lower wages than what they were making originally. So I think that is more directly tied to the network issue than it is for the wrestler releases. I think WWE is cutting costs in other ways that they can actually not publicize.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if WWE could save money and not have anybody know about it, hell yeah, they're going to do it that way.
Yeah.
And then they're just going to hide the savings somewhere in their stock update every quarter, and then people like us, we're not going to understand what the hell it means, but some analyst will. And besides, when I was reading when the stock took a hit, the analysts were happy with the network. They thought, I mean, they wanted to see more of what the network could do than besides. I mean, that was one thing I mentioned a few weeks ago, was that the analysts were happy with the network and they were so excited by the network they wanted the subscriptions to be higher than what WWE was projected. And WWE, when you look at what they projected to do over the year, they were ahead. At least when they last released numbers 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it seemed they were ahead.
Yeah, they were ahead of the curve, really. I mean, you were going to have that early rush
on that aspect.
Still, yeah, still. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if WWE was looking at it like, okay, we're going to get 1.5 was the goal, right? It was 1, or was it 1 million?
I think they said 1 million.
Okay, so
yeah,
1 million, right. 1 million by the end of the year. They're at 700,000, I want to say, a few weeks ago. So, I mean, if they were looking to get 1 million by the end of the year, they knew what their profit margins were going to be on that thing, and they had to know, okay, well, this is how much money this is going to bring in. Now, I don't know if they knew that DirecTV was going to drop them, and that they would have always
Comcast or anyone else.
Yeah, and they got to be looking at this Comcast Time Warner merger and being like, oh shit, now we got to deal with this, because if Comcast buys them, then Time Warner isn't going to sell our pay-per-views either. So, I mean, I can see that being a little worrying for them, and I can see the stockholders being like, okay, well, you got to come up with an answer for this, and they really can't. So, I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah, when you think about it, Time Warner Cable and Comcast, between them, that's like the East Coast.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the entire East Coast that the WWE is not selling pay-per-views to. That's New York, that's Miami, that's Philadelphia, that's Cleveland, Detroit, Atlanta. I mean, every major city over here. Boston.
Mm-hmm. Chicago is primarily Comcast based too. So.
Yeah, Chicago. So you're thinking, yeah.
It's huge. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I think we probably will see some more releases, but who, in the end, who knows really what it means and how it affects.
And it's going to be people from the front office, and we have no idea who they are. I mean, it's going to be like John Bon Jovi, who was in charge of accounts payable for overseas. Or something. It's be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
but at least he's a cowboy.
At least he's a cowboy.
As long as it doesn't affect the product as we're concerned as fans, I think it's fine.
Well, you know what? I'll play the Lee card here and wonder when are they going to go back to 2 hours.
I hope soon, man.
Because on the one hand, it's got to be cheaper, but at the same time, they're selling less ad space.
I don't know. I wish they would do it, though. I mean, I'm talking selfishly.
Well, I watched the 90-minute Raw on Hulu, and I got to be honest, it's awesome. Except I had to go back and watch the Stardust debut on YouTube because I didn't get a chance to see that because they didn't debut that on the app.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't put it on the app. I felt bummed by that.
Interesting. That was important. That's like
it was, right?
It's like the second most important thing that happened on Raw.
Oh yeah, I always make sure to hit the spoilers afterwards, make sure I don't miss anything important. Like, well, I'm at the mercy of WWE's editors, and they're gonna get this thing down to 90 minutes, come hell or high water.
All right. So let's move on from this Money in the Bank. Again, we're gonna be previewing it next week on FTW219. Tuesday, June 24th is when we're gonna be doing it. We're gonna record live on FTWLive.com at 8 p.m. So join us in the live chat. It'll be lots of fun.
Yay!
Right now, the official card is Usos versus the Wyatt family for the Tag Team Championships. We're finally going to get that match. We've also got the World Heavyweight Championship Money in the Bank match, as it's listed semantically. Del Rio versus Orton versus Sheamus versus Cesaro versus Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns and John Cena. So some other matches that may be there. We've got Paige going to defend the title. At first, it seemed like they were still going to push Alicia Fox there, but we got Cameron.
Yeah.
This time. So who knows? We might get Cameron there. Rusev will probably have a match. Bo Dallas will probably have a match. Maybe we'll get Adam Rose versus Jack Swagger, or maybe it'll be Rusev versus Jack Swagger. We never know. And then it really looks like we're going to get Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose.
Which would be awesome.
Yeah, it'll be epic. So that's Money in the Bank. We'll be briefing it again in full next week. So let's jump into win, fail. Wins of the week. Harrison, what's your win of the week?
I feel like I should come prepared for that one. Skip me.
Nick, win of the week.
Legitimate one. I just can't remember what it was.
My win of the week, hands down, Stardust. No explanation should be necessary. That was just simply magnificent. I don't know if I really want this as a long-term angle, but I would not complain for however long they drag this out.
Scott?
My win of the week has to be the lustful stare between you two for the entire show. No, kidding.
Sexual tension, Scott.
I know it's just oozing. It's oozing. Anyway, my win of the week actually has to be the fact that the Battle Royal went down to Reigns and Rusev. I really would love to see like an actual match between these two, but that was at least good enough, and I liked what I saw. So.
My win, hands down, is Ambrose versus Rollins, because everybody, when the Shield was breaking up, it was always Reigns is going to do really well, and then, Rollins will do pretty well too, and then Ambrose will be the third wheel. Those two guys are lighting it up. Hands down, they're lighting it up. Rollins, I want to see more out of Rollins, because he's basically kind of playing into Triple H's lackey, and right now that's Randy Orton's job, and I think Rollins could do more with it. But Ambrose is doing awesome. I mean, he's playing that whole, borderline psychotic character, and he's just leaning more into it because of the betrayal of Rollins. It's so great. Yeah, that's my win, are those two guys.
Yeah, I thought that was good. I think how they're building it up is working out pretty well. My win of the week is going to go to how the Battle Royal was booked. Bo Dallas, man, teasing him to win, I thought was really awesome. Yeah, I think it scared a lot of people who were there in Cleveland.
I don't think it would have made it to the show tonight if Bo Dallas had actually won that thing. I think it would have had an aneurysm sometime between now and then.
Oh man, but yeah, so I thought that the whole ending sequence was really cool. Rusev and Reigns standing there as well was fantastic. So good on WWE for that. From the live chat, we've got lots of love for Stardust. So there's that. Let's go with fails. Nick, your fail of the week.
I guess I'd have to be Oksana getting released. Because, yeah, she wasn't the best diva in the division, but she'd been developing pretty well. And to see her come as far as she has, from the point that she started out at, and just to see all that work just essentially go to waste, it's kind of disappointing. And as long as we're talking about divas being a fail, I hate everything about Cameron being in the divas title picture. Paige's title program thus far has been Tamina, which is a good first contender. Then Alicia Fox. She hasn't been booked like it for the past several years, but at least she's got a resume that kind of stacks up. Cameron? What has she done? She's literally done nothing since she has debuted, except be the anchor that is just around Naomi's neck that's dragging her down. I do not like this at all.
Scott, your fail of the week.
it's got to be a tie between Rusev speaking English. I just such a contradictory to what his gimmick should be. He's above America. Don't make him speak American. And the other half of it was just the Roman Reigns getting booked into the Battle Royal. Not necessarily him being in the match, but the way that they booked him into the match. I kind of felt like early 2000s SmackDown storyline writing to me. And I really disliked it. The whole puking thing was so campy. I really wish they could have found a more viable way of getting him into the match without having to resort to Isaac Hayes type writing. So that's my fails.
Harrison, you feel?
My fail is the fact that JTG is basically was let go by the WWE, and Joe wasn't on the show for the time. Wow,
That's a good fail. That's a good fail.
I'm missing the boat on that one. My other fail is the fact that Kevin Hart was on Raw, and it wasn't the fact that he was on Raw, but the fact is we had somebody on Raw who was dressed worse than King. I live in that world now. I can't go back. That's it.
Do you know that he had one of the biggest pops of the night?
Really?
Yeah. I don't get it.
He's hilarious. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's big in the comedian circuit right now. I mean, he's absolutely huge. It makes sense to bring him onto the show, especially with Raw being the entertainment show. But yeah, the whole Rosebud thing was just like, oh, really? I kind of look at it as an ass itch. It was nice and it felt good when you did it, but then you felt a little dirty afterwards. So.
Okay.
No.
It's a pretty good way to describe that, actually.
Yeah. Well, now we all know Scott a little bit better.
Yeah. Because nobody ever in the world gets an itch on their ass. Nobody whatsoever.
Nope.
So, Scott,
No.
your instinct right now is just to keep on digging. Is what you're.
It's digging. This is digging. Looking at you on a weekly basis is digging, my friend.
Oh dear. Fails from the live chat. Here we go. We got Rollins' new ring gear. So spoilers. Seth Rollins has new ring gear. You'll see it on Friday.
Oh, live chat.
It's pretty bad. Just throwing it out there. Living in a WWE universe without JTD or Tag Team Teddy. Fail the way everyone knew Cena was getting into the Money in the Bank title match.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that we got another super lame Cena versus Kane gimmick match. Like, has there ever been a good Cena versus Kane gimmick match? Why do we keep getting those?
No. Okay, so I full disclosure, I was not able to watch that match. Okay, so I came here to Garvin's house. We did watch it. Garvin put it up on his TV. He goes, "You gotta watch this thing." And then when he gets to the end, he's like, "This is terrible." I'm like, "Wow, these two got gassed quick." Or this got slow quick. Yeah. So we're just gonna watch it. We're eating like cheese brats and I think burgers. And all of a sudden, Garvin goes, "Wait, hang on. You gotta watch the ending of this because this is awesome." Cena then flips Kane onto the gurney, and then you have the best observation of all time. Okay, fine, I'll do it. So what Garvin points out is the fact that what he does is he does his finisher onto a padded gurney, a drop of 2 feet, and Kane was out for like 10 minutes.
Not even.
Basically Cena gingerly set Kane onto something. And it bounced. It was like landing on a bed, and he's just like,
Kane was
clearly Kane was suffering from vertigo. God, you guys you don't understand.
I do enjoy the fact that happened, while not a minute beforehand, Cena threw the steel steps at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, as an aside, can we stop doing that now because you're kind of devaluing the spot there? But it's steel steps.
Yeah, not only that, but Garvin pointed out that Kane threw Cena at the one gurney, Cena threw Kane onto the one gurney. It like flipped and Kane fell off. So then Cena went back and got the other gurney because clearly this one was broken. It did not operate as a gurney.
There's a problem with this one.
The person fell off. Gurneys are not supposed to allow that to happen. I will go get the other gurney because clearly there must be a recall for this model.
If as a wrestling
Worst
fan,
match ever.
as a
Monster
wrestling
fuck.
fan, if you want to hate your life, watch the last 3 minutes of that match.
It was so bad.
Yeah, it was poorly booked. Let's see. Any other fails from the live chat? The E revealing their financial vulnerability through all of these releases. I'm not sure if they're showing vulnerability by releasing JTG and Kurt Hawkins.
No, they showed vulnerability when the stock market punched them in the gut because they got lied to.
Yeah.
That's when they revealed their vulnerability.
Yeah, I am surprised that that's the only mention I've seen on the internet yet about anything alluding to the idea that WWE is going out of business. Whereas if this was TNA and they released one guy,
Oh, they're
the
gone.
internet explodes with, "Oh my God, they're bankrupt! They're going out of business! Finally!"
Yeah, the finally is the part that I'm with you on, Nick. It's that part. I'm going to tell you right now, guys who trade millions of dollars every day do not give two shits that JTG has lost his job. So can we just drop that?
They care the 3MB lost their
Oh,
job.
yeah.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, when they're, yeah, okay. Good point, Scott. Thank you. Yes, they do. They are. It's going to be just like 1928 all over, or 1928 all over. They're just going to be falling out of the building. No more gender. No!
And they finally hindered the gender.
Yeah.
And that's just, they killed it. They killed it. WWE's dead. WWE's dead.
Great Depression 2.0, people, mark it.
Nice. Final thoughts.
It's a Great Depression.
Okay.
Withdraw all your money. Hide it in the mattresses. We're done. It's the collapse of the It's the collapse of the world financial system as it stands. Watch the Nikkei index. You're going to see it's going to just tank tomorrow because we do not have because they have hindered the gender.
If 3MB can't succeed, nothing can.
Yeah.
Nothing can. Nothing
I did say it. I'm going to get my daughter. We're going to go live on an island. I'm going to get my wife and my daughter and my dog, and we're going to go live in an island because I don't want to live in this world anymore. He warned
But
us,
an
Garvin.
island is a different world altogether.
I can make it my own world.
The world is as big as you make it, my friend. The
Yeah.
world is as big as you make it.
I have my own goddamn island, Garvin. Where's your island? You bearded son of a bitch. I want to see what. Can you believe this?
Fight!
Island, and it's not enough for him. Oh, no, is this still in the world? Well, yeah, it's still in the world. I can't go to the moon. They don't have. I'm taking a baby, you idiot. You're gonna mute me. You're gonna turn me down, aren't you?
My final thought for this FTW podcast is that can we have more Albert and Costello-like comedy between
No, we can't.
in the
Well,
same room? That'd be great. This would be fantastic.
Well, the best part is we're gonna have it again next week, but
Yeah.
Lee's gonna be here too.
Oh, so it's Three Stooges. Yes.
This
Please
is
tell
gonna
me
be
Lee's gonna be
amazing.
curly.
Okay. Any other final thoughts? Great.
Penis.
Oh, there's plenty of that in this.
I believe it. He's got to have multiple,
There's no pants,
apparently.
remember.
Yeah, we have giant black dicks right here.
Oh, right.
That's
Oh.
Harrison at the FTW podcast.
Reminds me, I gotta call my mom.
Oh, shit. Oh, please, God, put that on a loop. Black dicks. Oh, that reminds me. Let me call my mom.
Okay. And that's the show. FTWpodcast.com for more information about us and how to get involved in the future. We love the chance to read and respond to your feedback. That's why we bring your questions onto the show each and every week. Yeah. You guys make this conversation each week enjoyable, you know, because
That's
Harrison does not, for sure.
Oh, he makes it plenty enjoyable.
Yeah, fuck the chat. Just we need more of this.
We record every episode of FTW on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on FTWLive.com. For myself, Nick, Harrison, Scott, everyone in the live chat, we will see you next Tuesday. Say hello to your mom, by the way.
Oh well.
Thank you.
I remember.
Say hello to your mother for me.